What is up, guys? This is Olympio coming at you with an opening today. Now, I don't normally do structure decks because, you know, you kind of see them all the time, but I think this one's definitely warranted to do, just to give you an overview of the Master Pendulum structure deck that's basically going to be changing the format of the, well, changing the format really, isn't it? Since, you know, we have Sorcerer that's confirmed, that's coming out in the TCG even, sorry, that is out in the OCG but coming out in the TCG, and that will be dropping on Bosch. That is a secret rare by the looks of it that will be coming out, so yeah, that's going to be pretty exciting if you are obviously a Pendulum player. So I'll get this open. It's much easier than the Yugi's World one, because, or not Yugi's World, whichever one that one was that came out most recently, but here we have one of the ultra rare cards. This is Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon. This is a new card for the TCG, and its effect reads as follows. It requires a tune. It's level 7, by the way. 1 tune and 1 non-tuner, so it's generic. And it says when this card is special summoned, you can target one card in your Pendulum zone. Special summon it. If this card cannot attack for the rest of the turn, you can only use the effect of Odd Eyes, you know, Meteor Dragon once per turn. Monsters in your opponent's possession cannot activate their effects during the battle phase. So this is quite an interesting one. It's kind of very similar to Armades, except that it's only when Armades actually, you know, would attack or battle, basically. But this is a really interesting card, I feel. And then the other one of the ones that everyone is kind of hyping, for very good reason, is Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon. It is a level 7 generic rank 7 that requires 2 level 7s, and its effect reads, it's basically Utopia. When your opponent declares an attack, you can detach an XYZ material from this card and negate the attack. Then, you can special summon one Odd Eyes monster from your hand or graveyard. If this XYZ summon is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Odd Eyes monster from your extra deck, except Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon. You can only activate each of their effects once per turn. So you can see how this works. You know, you can use, for example, Meteor Dragon, detach to negate an attack, and then bring this back. So there's the combos for days are pretty much there. And then we have Noble Dragon Magician. Now, Noble Dragon Magician, I thought was a bit of a strange one for it to be as a super rare, but you know, Konami do what they want to do. So, yeah. And then we have Oath Dragon Magician as well. These cards look really nice as well. I actually do quite like how they look. But this is going to be one of the main cards. But here, Wisdom Eye Magician. This is one of the main cards that the Pendulum deck really does use. And it's actually quite nice to see all of them out, because there's some interesting decks you can do, you know, with all of the magicians, not necessarily just, you know, obviously the meta decks. Whenever I look at a deck like this, I think, how can I make this engine interesting for other decks? So make sure to stay tuned for that. But Dragon Pulse Magician, a Dragon Pit Magician. This card is horrible. I hate this card so much. It just ruins me every single time. The amount of times I've been like, yeah, okay, I'm good against this deck. I'll just set my Solemn Warning and set a card and go. Dragon Pit, hit the warning. Oh, great. And then they proceed to go and Pendulum Summon. So yeah, here's another one. Skull Crobat Joker. This card is basically one of the Stratoses for the deck. You can add a Performer Pal monster, Magician, Pendulum monster, or Odd Eyes monster from your deck to your hand. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? That you can't have Stratos, but you can have this, alas. And then we go on to some of the support cards. So Stargazer, we've seen all of them. Odd Eyes is a nice common reprint. I can't remember if it was in common before or not, if this is its first common one, but alas. Silverclaw has already been out. Salu Tiger, then we've got Trump Witch. Metaphys Armed Dragon, I thought this was a bit of a weird one, but technically with the deck it kind of goes as a structure deck goes. Chaos Hunter is a really nice reprint. Fusilier Dragon. Lila, another Lila common. Fire Dancing Ferret, I thought was quite a funny one. Inari Fire, and then we have, you know, the stupid Archfiend Gigabyte. This is actually a pretty decent reprint, simply because it kind of was only in Jolt, I think, and it was only a common, so it's, you know, pretty simple, but a lot of people didn't really have them. No one really paid much attention to them, and, you know, with everyone starting to use this card a lot more, it was actually quite a good reprint in my opinion. Goblinberg, Bellum. This is such a really random card to be in there. As always, you always have some really random cards. Sky Iris is a really interesting card. It's a field spell. It's a brand new one. Field spell. Magician, Performer Palette, Odd Eyes cards in your Pendulum zone cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. You can target one other face-up monster, one other face-up card you control, destroy it, and if you do, add one Odd Eyes card from your deck to your hand. You can only use it once per turn. So this is a really interesting card. I was kind of playing around with this in Yang Zing's, more of a Zephyra-based build, Pendulum-based build, and it's quite interesting. So definitely stay. Keep an eye out for this. Now, this is the card that everyone wants for this deck. And it's quite crazy that this has come out in it, to be honest. The Pendulum Call, absolutely crazy card. Discard a card, add 2 Pendulums with different names from your Pendulum Magicians from your deck to your hand. Also, the effects of your opponent's next turn after this card resolves. You know, Magician cards just... This card's just dumb. Like, I really think this card is really dumb. And I think it's incredibly unfair, but that's just me. Pendulum Shift and Pendulum Rising, really random card. Sacred Sword 7 stars is a very nice reprint, and so is Summoners Are. It's the first time it's been in common because it was super and then rare originally, so yeah, standard MST. Scapegoat's a really random one. Forbidden Dress isn't a too bad one. Polymerization just got a reprint not too long ago. Terraforming, Pendulum Back, yeah, it's alright. Powerful Rebirth's also quite a nice one. It's just come out. This is probably the best trap card that's been reprinted. Trap Trick, Trap or Nightmare. It was in Super, then it was in Ulti in the Astro Pack, and now it's common, so it's a pretty good one. TT Eradicator is also a really nice one too. And then you have Rune Ice Pendulum Dragon, which was out a couple of sets ago as an ultra rare, but was basically worth nothing. But the fact it's just in here is kind of, you know, kind of good. So that is the overview of basically the deck as it stands, as it comes straight out of the box. And you can see that it's pretty, what you could call budget, if you just want to play around with these. But the deck is kind of bordering on the line of not too expensive, but getting there. Simply because you have to normally play 2 to 3 Apex Avians, which are now hitting £40, 50, 60, 70 euro. Not euro, sorry. Dollars, since most of my viewer base is American. And then you have different things like, obviously, the main Sorcerer coming out in the next set. He's secret rare, so he's going to be worth a lot. I think just simply because this deck core is so cheap, you've got a couple of cards that you need to add into it. Obviously the extra deck, but the extra deck isn't actually too bad. A lot of ranked 7s have had a lot of reprints now, and the reason why is because, as I said, this is so cheap that the Sorcerer coming out in the next set, the Magician Sorcerer, there's just going to be a hype for it. There's going to be so many people wanting it, so the price is obviously going to go up. But that is just my opinion. If it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. But alas, I just think it will. But that is it, guys. So thank you very much for watching. Just wanted to basically give an overview of the deck and how it kind of, well, not how it works, but you know how it works, I'm sure. But this is just basically the deck now. I've picked up 3 just because it's always good to pick up these types of things, because you never know what you can do with them. But that is it, guys. As I said, let me know what you think of the Pendulum deck in general, if you are going to be playing it or if you are not. And if you're not going to play it, what's your favourite card to side against this deck, or even main? So as I said, let me know down in the comment section below, and make sure to give me a like, comment, subscribe, and I should catch you guys later.